Guys, haven't done a video in a little while, but I'm doing this one in response to somebody who told me that she feels that there's too much emphasis put on weight. Well, and she was upset that people are judged and criticized because of their weight. Oh, it's cold here tonight. I got my fuzzy warm robe on. um, really cold outside tonight. But anyway, she wanted my opinion on this. Well, my opinion is, of course, nobody should be judged by their weight. Their personality and who they are should not be judged by their weight. But you got to stop playing games with yourself when it comes to weight. The bottom line is being overweight is very dangerous. You don't lead a healthy life. Right now, I know some people, one in particular, that is paying a very, very dear price for being overweight with their health. Um, and this person is only in his, early 60s and is really suffering a lot. You can't deny the fact that being overweight it creates its own set of problems. Diabetes, heart problems, high blood pressure, problems with your joints, your feet, your knees, your hips. Just the weight alone can cause you so many problems. And you got to quit being in denial. There was a time when the whole thing was, oh, just be fat and happy. Well, you know what? We know better now. You being fat and happy is not the real world. And think about it. When you're out in public, at the mall, wherever, at the grocery store, how many really, really, we're talking obese people do you see out there? And I mean obese. You don't see a whole lot. Why? Either they're dead, they died young, or they're kind of trapped at home, can't really do much, don't want to do much. And when you do see some people out there that are very overweight and you see them walking, you can see that they're struggling. You can see them struggling just to, they kind of go side to side, and you can see them. If I've actually been near people when I'm in the mall, and I hear them struggling just to breathe as they walk from weight. Um, what I say to you, you know who you are, is you got to quit kidding yourself. Being overweight is not something to take lightly anymore. You might think because you're only in your late 30s that it's not that big a deal. Oh, you got so much life. Well, that's wrong thinking, because what's going to happen is the damage done to your body, your bones, your organs, everything over time with being overweight uh, will catch up with you. It will catch up with you. And instead of being able to enjoy your later years, you're going to be in misery. You're going to be in absolute misery. And you know who you are. If you're watching this video and you're overweight, you know who you are. You know when you take your clothes off in front of that mirror and you see the pouch of fat on your abdomen, you see your hips bulging, you see the cottage cheesy, fat all over you. You know who you are. Don't try to kid me and tell me, oh, I'm not overweight. You know when your arms are big enough to where they don't even lay flat, they're kind of puffed out. You know who you are. And I say this out of caring about you as a human being. I'm not criticizing your appearance. I'm stating the facts. You know who you are if you're overweight. And you've got to quit deluding yourself into thinking, oh, well, accept me as I am. Well, a person should accept you as you are. Yes, they should. But that doesn't mean that you have to accept your weight when you're overweight, okay? That's just ridiculous thinking. You are headed for a lot of trouble. You are headed for degeneration of your spine, your bones, your joints, your feet, diabetes, you name it. You're headed for a lot of trouble just from being overweight. You can make it as hard or as simple as you want to, as difficult or as simple as you want to lose weight. Obviously, if you have all this processed junk food, cakes, candies, cookies, ice creams, garbage stuff in boxes and packages, and you have it around your house, obviously you're going to eat it, okay? So you have to get that stuff out of your home. And don't use the excuse that you have children. You shouldn't be feeding your children that garbage either. I'm so proud of my daughter. She has two little boys, 2 and 3, and she feeds them very good food. Very good. She tries to get as much organic as she can. She doesn't let them eat junk food all. It's a treat. Like sometimes they'll come to grandma's and they know grandma's going to have a little treat. You know, it's a treat like I grew up with. I had a treat now and then. It wasn't something we ate every day. Garbage and sweets and cokes and what have you. Those were treats when I grew up. And she is doing the same thing. And I'm very proud of her for doing that because she's getting them on the road to a healthy life. And those of you who say, oh, well, my kids are so thin and what have you, so what? Because your kids are thin, you fill them with garbage and poisons and junk that's no good for them as they grow. And then you get them in the habit of eating garbage so that when they're older and they're obese or having a lot of weight problems and miserable, how can that make you feel good? I had 5 children, not a one of them ever had a weight problem. They were all as thin as could be, and they're all as healthy as can be. So, and we used to have a store here called Wild Oats, and that's where 90% of the food they ate came from. Uh, I chose to raise them on healthy food. They never had a weight problem. They were all they were thin as rails, all of them, but healthy and strong and active because they were getting the right foods. They got treats now and then, of course. I don't believe in depriving a child of, you hear these nuts who, oh, my child has never tasted sugar. I'm sorry. I don't believe in going to the extreme. I think that's insane. Same with vegetarianism. I'm sorry, but everything that I have learned about being a vegetarian or a vegan or a raw food, I'm sorry. I totally disagree with that. I mean, I did try that for a year, started losing my hair, my skin went to hell. I didn't feel right. I got this kind of puffy, even though I was thin. I had like a puffy look about me. I don't know how to explain it. I felt terrible, and my hair had no shine. It was just awful. So I went off of it, went back to eating meat, and everything was restored. I mean, right away, everything was restored. My hair, my skin, everything went back to normal and healthy. So I'm sorry, I know you're going to have your vegetarians and your vegans and your raw foodists who say this is the way to go. Well, I'll tell you what, I've looked up a lot of stuff online on YouTube's with these people who are raw and vegan and what have you that have been doing it for a long time. I, I, I'm telling you, the majority of those are some of the most unhealthy looking people I look at on in terms of diet. So I don't know, everybody has their views. My view is we were intended to eat meat. There are certain things in meat that you cannot get from plants or supplements. So that's just, I don't believe in it. But aside from that, you know who you are, okay? So if you're watching this, you know you're overweight and you're trying to just, excuse me, you're trying to, pretend all is well. Yeah, okay, it doesn't look good. I'm going to put it out there. Why will I'm not going to lie just to make somebody feel better uh, while at the same time it's hurting them. It doesn't look good. You can't say that when you take your clothes off and you see rolls of fat and lumps and bumps and your belly hanging over. You cannot say that that looks great. It doesn't. Okay, let's be honest. It doesn't look great. But this is not just about mainly appearance. This is mainly about your health and what it's going to do for you in the long run. It's going to hurt you. I have been at the stores, in the malls, Walmart, Target, any store you can think of, grocery stores, and I've seen some of these people that are extremely overweight in wheelchairs. They can't even walk because of their extreme weight. And it's inexcusable. All it takes, and I know you're going to say, oh, it's not that easy. It's as hard or as easy as you want to make it, okay? I'm sorry. I get so tired of all the excuses that people come up with for being overweight, what it's doing to our health programs, government, and all that stuff. Diseases are showing up in children that didn't show up until you were 80 or 90. I mean, it's a fact. It's not just me speaking. It is a fact that so many children are coming down with high blood pressure, heart problems, all kinds of problems that you just didn't think of until you were a very, very old person. Not anymore. And the huge portion of that is because of diet. When you're filling your children and yourselves with nothing but packaged and processed food that's been stripped of its nutrients by all the processing and put all kinds of chemicals put in there to preserve it and what have you, you're not eating food, you're eating chemicals. You've got to get back to the basics of lean meats, seafood, water, fruits, vegetables, nuts, seeds. Eat what is from the earth. That's what was intended to feed us. Not all this processed garbage. Do you know that in my kitchen I have two things that are canned? I don't believe in canned food anymore because of the BPA's that are released into the food. Same with my daughter. Her pantry practically bare because she doesn't use processed and canned foods. The majority of the food is, uh, in its natural form: meats, vegetables, fruits, what have you. There are a lot of things you can buy, like at a health food store, and don't give me that excuse, oh, I can't afford that. Well, isn't it interesting how somebody can say, I can't afford healthy food, but then you look at their cart and you see them with about $200 worth of garbage, candies, cokes, cakes, packaged fruit roll-ups, and all this other garbage that they think is healthy when it's not. You'd be surprised how much you spend on garbage that could actually be going to healthy food. And you got to learn to cut those portions down. We don't need a plate this big filled with food this high. We need very little food to actually survive and do well. And they have proven in tests that the less we eat, as long as it has the right amount of nutrients, good amount of calories, the longer we seem to live and the healthier we seem to live. I, for one, I fast every once in a while. I'll go, 2, 3, 4 days. Sometimes I've gone a week without eating, just taking vitamins and water and maybe a sip of juice here and there. And I feel great. I feel terrific. But I do that, just to kind of cleanse my body. It makes me feel good. Plus, of course, it keeps the weight down. I mean, obviously, you can't do that if you have health issues. You'd have to talk to your doctor. But I don't. I'm going to be 58 in April. I am not on one medication for anything. I just take my vitamins, my vitamin C, my minerals, and I eat a good, healthy diet. Not saying things aren't going to come up. Of course, as we age, things come up. But I know people who are good, 15, 20 years younger than me, and they're already on all kinds of medications for health problems. And their diet is garbage. So guys, you got to quit fooling yourselves. This new year, if your goal was to maybe lose weight, a lot of people do that at the new year. Well, I'm going to lose weight. Well, number one, you've got to be realistic. Don't try to lose, 20 pounds in 2 weeks. Make it took a while for that weight to get on. It's going to take a while to come off. And the thinner you are, the harder it is. For instance, say you want to lose 20 pounds. That's going to be harder than someone who's 300 pounds and needs to lose 150 pounds if they go on a diet. It falls off faster. So you got to be patient. And don't tempt yourself by having the garbage in your house. Get real, guys. I am so tired of people and their excuses. Oh, it's just so hard. Oh my gosh. Well, don't have it in your house. Not for you and not for your kids. Be a good role model. Show your children. No, you're not going to eat this garbage processed food, and no, you're not going to be drinking Cokes and juices all the time. Juice is not healthy. It spikes your blood sugar instantly. And when I see these juicer things going on, I tried that juicing thing once. You wouldn't believe how sick I got from all the sugars. My doctor said, get off of that now. You're plowing your body with sugars. So I went off of that, and of course, my health came back to normal. So I'm not a fan of that whole juicing thing unless it's vegetables maybe. But even then, it's better to have the fiber from actually eating the food rather than drinking juices. So don't think because you're buying your child orange juice and this juice and that juice, oh, this is healthy. No, you're giving him a glass of sugar. That's what the body turns it into. I don't care if it's 100% juice, it still turns into sugar. So you need to get rid of all that junk. Have yourself and your children eat real food, people. Cook, make real food. Stop that microwave crap that when you put it in there, all the chemicals from the plastic. Did you know that when you use those plastic things in the microwaves, when you buy frozen foods, those chemicals, it has been proven. It is not me just theorizing. It is true. It is proven. The chemicals come out of the plastic and go into the food. Logical, isn't it? Makes sense. You're putting it in a microwave. So I don't believe in that at all. I will not buy microwave foods. I just think it's ridiculous. So you people out there, this person in particular, I've had a few people ask me, about weight and because of the new year. But this one in particular, she was really, I just think it's too much stress is put on weight. And is it? Well, yeah, it's because now we know better. We know better now. The days of being fat and happy are over. You will not be fat and happy as you age and you start having problems with your joints, with your heart, with your liver, with everything failing because of the excess weight. Fat holds on to toxins, it holds on to sugar, it holds on to everything bad. So the more you have in your body, the more of all of that you're holding in your cells. Not good thing, not a good thing. I mean, I've had 5 children, people. I got up to 200 pounds with my last child. If I can have 5 kids and gain all the weight I did with each one and still lose all my weight, you can too. It's up to you. No one can make you. You can join any crazy diet programs. They've got so many out there now, and drinks and shakes and pills and all that garbage is ridiculous. If you don't train yourself to eat well, eat the right foods, when you go off of those shakes and those pills and all this program and what have you, you're going to be right back where you were because you're not training yourself to eat the right foods and eat it well. Eat well. So it's to me, all those programs are ridiculous. Every time I see one of these stars get on one of those programs and they lost all this weight, then you see them a year later and they've got weight back on. Well, why? It didn't teach them to eat. It had them thinking, okay, I'm going to get this, 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 and this to eat. I'll be fine. And they lose the weight. Oh, this was great. Then you stop eating all that food and you gain the weight back because you haven't taught yourself how to eat and watch what you're eating. It's really simple. It's not. It's doesn't. You don't have to be a rocket scientist to figure this out. So guys, quit fooling yourself. Quit pretending that, oh well, say you're a 25 or 30-year-old and you're thinking, oh, or even 40s for that matter. Oh, I'll lose it. I'll lose it. Before you know it, you're going to have health issues because of that weight. And there are issues that you don't just get to make disappear. Some of them are very serious. Believe me, I'm watching it happen with someone I know who just brushed aside the whole I'm going to lose weight routine, and now the price is very dear. So people, forget about it just being a New Year's goal. Make it your life's goal to start eating healthy. Start teaching your children to eat healthy. Do not have your house filled with packaged and canned and instant and frozen crap. Make food for your family. Make food for your children. For yourself, if you're a single person, make good food for yourself. I do it. I mean, it's once you get in the habit of it, it's very simple. Get out of the habit of that fast, quick, fast food garbage. You eat that stuff, you're going to gain weight and you're going to get sick. Now, if you do it once in a while as a treat, I see nothing wrong with that. Life's too short. I'm not going to deprive myself of everything that is yummy and not good for you. I'm going to treat myself. Life's too short. And food, for me, to me, good food, a nice, fattening whatever piece of cake and a yummy piece of candy, whatever, that's a treat. And I enjoy it every now and then. And I'm going to continue. But it is not a part of my everyday diet because, number one, diabetes is rampant in my family. I don't want to end up with that. My sisters, my uncles, my aunts, my mother, everybody got so many people had diabetes. I don't want to be a part of that group. So the sugar intake is very low. Actually, sugar in itself, I buy a little pack of organic sugar. It's about this big, little pack, and it's about that wide. That lasts me, I don't know how long, because I only use a little bit of sugar in my coffee. I don't use sugar anymore. It's like, I don't use it. I have nothing to use it on. I don't eat cereals. Those are like eating a bowl of sugar in itself. So cereals, I never touch cereals. So sugar is something I don't eat anymore. Just a little bit in my coffee. That's it, guys. Unless I bake something, which is maybe once in a blue moon, because I don't bake food anymore, because usually that's cookies, cakes, and that kind of garbage, breads, what have you. Now, I don't do that. That's a treat now and then. So, people, it's up to you. You need to go look at yourself in that mirror without your clothes on, front and back with a mirror, and you know the reality of, I'm overweight. Look at that. Look at that flab. Look at that roll. Look at my belly sticking out. Look at how my arms are hanging down the side. Look at my shoulders and my upper arms, how big they are. You know who you are. Look at the roll under my face, under my chin. You know who you are. And one of the people that I'm addressing here, she contacted me because she is so worried about her weight. She's only 38. And this other one, ironically, was in her 30s as well. But the one that contacted me, she wanted advice. The other one was like, well, hey, we shouldn't be. Well, yes, you should. You should be worrying about it. You've got to quit fooling yourself. Like this one, she said she wants to get rid of it, so I gave her, some advice. I told her about my videos that I have on losing weight and a fast weight loss soup to initially kickstart a diet. And I told her, get rid of anything that isn't just real food. Just get it out of your house. That's the only way, people. If it's there, you're going to eat it. If it's junk, you're going to eat it until you learn self-control. I have candy in my kitchen right now that I have as a treat now and then. I don't go in there, oh goody, candy, No. I think to myself, I think I want a little piece of a candy. And I mean, a piece, like a dove, a little dove or a mini almond joy, those little, it's a treat now and then. It's just not part of my life anymore. So people, um, go look at yourselves. Ask yourself, do you want to end up in your older years with misery, absolute misery from all the consequences of that excess weight that you think, because you're younger maybe now, maybe if you're younger and you're watching this and you're thinking, oh, I'll get to it. It all I'm going to tell you is the longer you put it off, the harder it is to lose weight. As you get older, it's harder to lose weight because you lose a little muscle mass, and so it's a little tougher. Um, I don't have a problem losing weight. I'm very fortunate, and I have to say that when I set my mind to something, I can lose like that. Okay, I'm very fortunate, but that's because I want to. I know it's better for me. Even if it's just 5 pounds, I know I've got to keep that away from me. You guys can do the same thing too. So to those of you who are watching this and you're starting your new year thinking, gosh, I hate the way I look. I'm tired of buying clothes that look like a tent on me. I'm tired of buying clothes that aren't that attractive. I'm tired of my husband or my boyfriend not looking at me like I'm very sexy anymore. And I'm sorry, that's the bottom line. I tell you what, if I were to get married again and he's a slender guy and all of a sudden he's got himself a beer belly hanging out here, he's pooched out and he's all puffed up, I'm sorry, it's going to be an instant turnoff for me. Not because I'm shallow. I'm being honest. I just don't like the way it looks. I'm sorry. I can't pretend I like a big belly and flab. I can't pretend because I don't like it. I don't like it on myself either. And I would be telling that person, you need to lose that weight. You need to get down to a decent weight because I would not be attracted. And you can call me Shella if you want. I really don't care. I'm just being honest with you. It's not something I would find appealing. So, think about how you look for yourself. Think about how maybe someone else might be viewing you. Not to say that you should be judged for your weight. But let's face it, let's say you got married and you were, say, 120, 130, 140 pound girl. And now you're 260, you're 220. Don't think that that doesn't affect how someone feels about you, how your spouse or boyfriend would feel about you. It may sound shallow, but it's realistic. It's just realistic. He married this one person, and vice versa. She married this one person. And then 10, 20 years later, they look like an entirely different person because of all the flab on the body. I'm sorry, that's realistic. And you can get upset if you want, but it's a fact. And more so important than the appearance is the health issue. To hell with what, you know, if you're thinking, well, I don't care what somebody thinks about me. Okay, great. Then think at least about yourself, okay? Think about what you're doing to yourself, how it's going to affect your life, because it's going to, people. If you think it's not going to, if you only knew what I am seeing in some other people in my life, you you would think, oh my God, I am not going to go through that. So it's up to you guys. It's as simple or hard as you want to make it. That's all there is to it. It's all, there's nothing else to it. You can find any excuse you want, upsets, traumas, oh, I was sick, I broke my leg, I this, I that. You can, this person treated me like crap. You know, I'm an emotional eater. You can think of any excuse you want, and that's what it is, an excuse. That's it. There's no other word for it but an excuse. And you can feed on that excuse, and you can try to get other people to feed on that excuse for you, to sympathize. Well, I understand, you know, you just went through a divorce, so I understand you're gaining 80 pounds. No, I'm sorry. people who really care about, you're going to be saying, no, stop it. You don't need to get yourself sick because this and that happened, okay? That's what people who care about you would really do. And that's what you would do for somebody that you know, or your children. If you see your children getting really overweight, you need to discuss it with your doctor. You need to discuss it with people to make them understand that this could be a lifelong habit and a miserable life because of their weight. So people, those of you that contacted me about your goals for the new year about weight, like I said, be realistic. It took a while to get on, and it takes a while to get it off. So, be realistic in your weight loss. And if you screw up one day and say, maybe you woke up and you did have a bad day, and you thought, oh, hell, then I'm going to eat that cake and ice cream. Okay, so you did it that day. That's not an excuse to do it all night long into the next day, week, and month. No, not an excuse. If you sat down and gave in to something you knew you shouldn't have, oh well. But I believe in treating yourself once a week, even on a diet. That's what I did after I had my children, and I lost all my weight. I believe in saying, okay, say it's Friday or Saturday night. Tonight I'm going to have a piece of cake and ice cream. Tonight I'm going to have a candy bar once a week. That way you don't really feel completely deprived, but you have to learn complete control. I mean, that's the bottom line. It's complete self-control. You've got to stop and say, all right, I had my candy bar. I'm done. And you just don't even think about it again. And if you don't have it in your house, you can't go grab it. So go out in your kitchen. Get rid of all the garbage, guys. And quit feeding the garbage to your children. You are supposed to be helping your children go into a better life, okay? And you're not going to do it by you being overweight and you letting your children think it's okay to be overweight by what you feed yourself and what you feed them. No excuses. There's too much illness amongst our young people now, and it comes huge reason is because of the diet. And of course, lack of exercise. But you can exercise all you want. I don't care how much you exercise. If you're putting poison into your body, you're not doing yourself one bit of good. Not one. So if you think, oh, well, I work out, and you go out and eat garbage, or if you think because you're thin, say you're 20s, 30s, and you're thin, and you're working out, and you're eating garbage, one day it's going to slam you. It's going to hit you. One day you're going to be like, oh my God, I gained 5 pounds, I gained 10 pounds. It's going to keep adding up because as you age, your metabolism slows, and what used to be able to be burned off won't be after a while. It'll start packing on the pounds. So, what I say to you guys is stop the excuses. There's too many. I could write a list this long of reasons why it was, I just kept eating that way. No excuses. Whatever happens in life, you have to take control of your life and what you put in your mouth in order to take care of your body. Your body, guys, without your health, you have nothing. I don't care how rich you are. Without your health, you have absolutely nothing. So get to work. Okay, no more excuses. Wake up tomorrow, look at yourself in front of that mirror with no clothes, front and back. You know who you are. You know what weight you need to lose. And let's face it, we were not intended to eat all this trash that is in the markets. We were intended to eat what the earth gave us. That's the bottom line. Water, meats, seafood, nuts, seeds, fruits. That's what we were intended to eat. We were not intended to eat all this packaged, canned, and processed garbage that fills our supermarkets. So guys, it's up to you. But I hope you use your heads. I hope you love yourself and your children and your spouse enough, your family enough to keep yourself healthy so that not only do you not ruin your life as you age, but you don't become a burden to others because of all the destruction to your body where other people are going to need to take care of you simply because of weight. And it happens. Believe me, I'm seeing it happen to someone right now. So guys, it's up to you. So anyway, wanted to address that, and yes, I agree to that person. No, you should not be judged by your weight, but forget about that and think about what you're doing to yourself and your future. Okay, guys? I am tired and I am thirsty. So I'm going to get me a nice glass of water. So I will talk to you later, guys. Bye-bye.